What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I'm outside the Sport Trac for this video. It's actually the second take. I filmed it inside the Sport Trac for the first take, but the iPhone overheated, so I had to come out here, and it cooled down, so I've actually got it in the wind a little bit to try to cool it down. I hope the wind noise isn't too bad. I'm trying to stay out of it so you guys don't get the wind noise at all. But anyway, if you guys saw the last video, the Sport Trac has a misfire that I'm having to deal with. Like I said in that video, it's kind of a mess, and I actually have more details on it. So all I could tell you last video was that it had a misfire. I couldn't tell you what pistons it was, whether it was it was like at random, or if it was just a single misfire. So let me give you the new information. So I took the truck into AutoZone yesterday, which was Tuesday. I'm actually filming this the same day I published the original check engine light video. So I know this is coming out the day after, but I know it's kind of odd thinking, oh crap, what happened here? Since it was a very, very fast hit. I uploaded those videos pretty much, I've uploaded the last video and this video in quick succession with each other. So let's give you guys the new details. So what happened, I took it to AutoZone yesterday and have the computer completely scanned. My tuner actually didn't give me much information other than just the code itself. It didn't give me a description. I rather would have found what I found out to be if it was like a piston problem, which bank it was occurring in. It was just a misfire code. It didn't say misfire at all in the description either. I actually gained a second code on top of that, which I mentioned in the last video, which is a misfire within the first 1,000 revolutions, which at a complete cold start, you can definitely tell. Yeah, that's kind of that. So I got the truck cleaned up, had it checked over by AutoZone, and it turns out there's a random misfire involving all 6 pistons. So this motor is practically on its last legs, and we're gonna try to figure it out. We got kind of like a 2-phase plan going on that me and my dad have been working with. We're gonna try to slowly piece this together and see what's going on. So I'm going to kind of go through those phases for you guys, just to kind of give you guys an idea on what's going on, what we're going to try to do to fix it. I don't really know if these are going to be videos on their own. I probably won't video these because kind of, if I get irritated, I don't want it to be on camera as much as it'd be enjoyable for the rest of you guys to see. I don't really want my irritation being out there. So the first phase of the plan is just doing a once-over of the motor, seeing what's going on there, whether there's spark plug wires that are chafing on the valve covers or any other engine components. I've already checked the tightness on them. They're tight as can be. I cannot say they're loose at all. They're actually perfect on tightness. They're clipped on completely all the way around. All six wires are clipped where they need to be. And checking for vacuum leaks, which is the other thing that a lot of people have been showing me on the owners group on Facebook. They've been telling me check for vacuum leaks, do all that stuff. From what I've seen so far, I haven't actually found any. I'm still looking, of course, but I haven't found any vacuum leaks just yet. It's definitely kind of concerning with that. Of course, my dad being more of a mechanic than I am, he'll be the one who kind of takes a look over and gets everything done and checked over his way rather than mine, because I just went under the hood and looked and felt around. I didn't actually notice any vacuum leaks. I didn't notice any spark plug wires being chafed, but he has more of a professional background in mechanics than I do, obviously, so he can tell you for a fact what's going on. So that's phase 1, just doing a once-over, seeing what's going on, and seeing if anything small can be fixed. Patching a vacuum leak is, not terribly hard or expensive, if not even going to have to cost us anything, while, dealing with the spark plug wires, of course, would involve buying a new wire. Or just repositioning it if it's not badly damaged, which, obviously it's already badly damaged if I'm getting misfire codes. So that's kind of that. So we're moving into our second phase, which is putting a little bit of money into it, which is something my dad necessarily doesn't want to do right now, and neither do I, because this is kind of going to be an R&D thing. We're going to have to be testing stuff out and seeing what works and what isn't working. So the first part of phase 2 is just checking the cam sensors. Now we actually just replaced the crankshaft position sensor, so I can pretty much rule it out. I actually had a scare when I got my emissions done last year, where it broke down in the emissions bay, would not fire or anything like that. Which we actually was originally thinking the timing chains had given out, but this was before I got the rattle. This was before any of that stuff started. So obviously that wasn't the case. It actually has been running fine. We found out it was just the fuel filter was clogged. And that it was having a hard time receiving fuel. So we got that resolved, no big deal, all dealt with. So phase 2 is again checking the cam sensors, getting those replaced. If that doesn't fix it, we'll move to the PCV valve. If the PCV valve is junked and it doesn't fix it, and if we replace it, doesn't fix it, okay, move on to the EGR. If the EGR doesn't work, which is one of the more expensive components, we move to the ignition coil, which is the single-handed thing that will make or break this entire thing. If this ignition coil does not fix the problem, we are screwed, and we'll have to move into what is our kind of last resort plan, which is, well, dealing with getting the engine checked over, seeing if there's any sort of damage to timing components, loss of compression, anything of that nature. And at that point, if there's any damage in those components, this motor's trashed. Basically, if we even get to this area, the motor's pretty much trashed. And we're kind of at an impasse, and we'll have to either, do a motor swap with another 4.0, because with the timetable we'll have on it, it's my only car. I need to have it back as quickly as I can. We'll have to do the fastest route, which is just getting another 4.0 put in it. Now, I've heard bad things with the Jasper rebuilt motors, so I'm not gonna, screw around with those. I'm gonna go straight to a brand new crate motor from Ford. Now, these motors for the Mustang 4.0 from 2010, which is, from what I've heard, the best 4.0 motor out there. It was redesigned on the timing component wise, so it won't have as bad as a failure rate as these older Explorer 4.0s. Which is, got me some sort of happiness to it, because it's like, if I can get a Mustang 4.0 put in this thing, which in theory should work, because I mean, it's another 4, it's the exact same setup as this, just slightly redesigned and more efficient. That'd be great. But if we can't do that, we'll have to move on to kind of our second plan, which is new build. And it's not something I entirely want to do as much as if it's necessary, it is. Well, I guess in the last video, the truck is titled in my parents' name, so legally, they are the only ones who can make the decision to pull the plug on a new build or to just fix this thing and get it up and running again. And it's really going to come down to labor costs. If it's going to cost, about $4,000 in total, at the absolute most, I believe, to swap in a motor from, the 2010 4.0, we're kind of screwed. And it'd be, in my personal opinion, I don't know if my parents would see this the same way I would. It'd be more cost effective to get a newer car for around the same price, $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, when this thing, we get the motor put in, but then all the other components, the transmission and the drive and the drivetrain, the drive shaft, the differential is all at stake as well, because obviously these components probably were taken about as good as care of the motor is. So yeah, the previous owner, like I said, didn't ever take care of this thing. I kind of had to jump in and take care of it myself, which, I mean, I've done my best. I really can't do much better than this. So really, that's kind of that. So if we have to get a new car altogether, I'm just kind of doing a pan shot so I can check and see if my phone's still recording. If we have to get a new build, I've got a few cars in mind that I've looked at that I kind of like. Okay, wind, could you not? Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I've had 3 cars in mind that are kind of my top 3 in the event I have to get a new car, which I'm looking at the Scion FRS, the Hyundai Genesis, and the 3-valve Mustang GT. I definitely want to upgrade to a manual this time, so I'll be targeting specifically FRS manuals, 3.8R specs, and 3 valves with manuals. And I found a group of cars that I found online today that I really liked. There's a 2013 FRS with navigation and Bluetooth, a 3.8R spec Genesis, and 2 3-valve GTs, 2 of which had rare options. The first one had a glass roof option, which I like because I really want to have that kind of convenience and ability to just look up whenever I'm parked and be like, wow, that's cool. And then the other one is low mileage and has red leather, which I'm a sucker for red interiors. So that was kind of those. The likelihood of those being on sale after the fact we get all this dealt with is very slim, but who knows. But anyway, that's kind of that. That's kind of our game plan. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys on Saturday with the Boosted Mafia video. And quick reminder, this will not be in attendance. Due to this whole Misfire issue, I'm trying to literally drive it as little as I can. But thank you guys again for understanding, and see you guys in the next video.